All right, today we have the $2 wonder. This is a Canon autofocus AF35M. I see these in thrift stores all the time. In fact, I saw a half a dozen of these yesterday at a thrift store, but I didn't buy them because I didn't have any batteries with me. And even though they were only $2 each, I wasn't going to risk they were all lemons. This one, look, you can tell by the approved sticker. They used to put these approved stickers by whatever commission checked these cameras, and the approved sticker isn't even worn. It's not even like worn off from finger use, or it's just really clean body. It's got a really sharp 38mm f2.8 lens, and again, this would be a great street camera. The only issue with it, if anything, is it's loud. It's not exactly stealth, but you know, it gives you a lot of options for a very inexpensive camera that you can really take risks with, and it has a motor built in. That's kind of just what they used to do. I used to like them when they made the older QL3. It was a winding camera. I prefer just winding it because it's less battery dependent and it works without having to, you know, make all that sound. But it's autofocus. You can only tell autofocus when it has two windows and a viewfinder. The two windows are actually triangulating to a focus point, just like a rangefinder does, like a Leica camera, and you manually line up two windows to get it in focus. That's exactly what these two windows do. So again, pretty smart, well-built camera from probably back in the 70s or early 80s. Put a camera strap on it. It didn't come with anything like that. It has a little pop-up flash. I don't like it. Again, it's like a deer spotlight. Just kind of keep that off. And it's got a self-timer and it's got a pre-focus. So if you want to pre-focus it, you can pull it down into that position and you can hold the button down, and then you can hold it there. A lot of times the way I use any of these kind of point and shoots is if you push the shutter halfway down, that'll lock focus, and then you can recompose and then push it the rest of the way, and that'll actually fire the shot. So yeah, certainly it's not a camera that's going to get you any real secret photos because it's like a tank riding down the road as it winds film, but it works well. It's got a sharp 35mm 2.8 lens. It's got a ASA ISO film speed right here at the very top. So you set the film speed. Right now it says 400, there's 100. So if you're shooting this camera and you're shooting something that's backlit and you're using 400 speed film, okay, so it may, in automatic mode, it may not expose properly because you're shooting backlit, and it may underexpose your photo. Well, you can lie to the camera. Tell it has less sensitive film. Tell it has 200 speed film in it, and then it'll shoot a brighter exposure. Tell it you have 100 film, and now you've just bracketed two exposures, one stop over and one two stops over. So an automatic camera isn't always my friend, but if it has an ISO dial, you can actually do some things with it. You can actually modify exposure because you can lie to the camera what kind of film you have in it. It also is nice that it has a filter ring, and it has a place you can put a lens hood or a filter ring on here, and it's an ordinary filter size. So it's not something that, you know, you're at the mercy of proprietary extensions and things. It's a basic lens hood. You can put a polarizing filter on. You can put a neutral density filter on if you want to shoot outside in really bright light but still shoot at wide apertures like an f2.8. When I open the back, nothing real special in there. Again, you can do some tests, watch and see if it's firing. Takes AA batteries. That's a nice little feature too. It doesn't take any special battery. Any of these point and shoots that I find that they take a lithium or some kind of a CR2 battery, those are $10. and I don't buy any of those because they're just too expensive to buy batteries for. This, if we cover, this is the little light meter right down here, this little dot. So if I shoot here, do you see that lens move? It's actually focusing. You can tell it's focusing. And then if I cover this, you should hear a different exposure. Actually, all those were before the camera hit #1 in the load, so it may not have adjusted the exposure until we're at #1. Now we're at #1 on the counter. So let's see, if we point at a light, that looks like a really fast shutter. I hold the finger over the exposure meter. You hear the difference? Listen to the difference from, you might be able to see that shutter. If I block the exposure meter. So it has a little handy thing where it actually reads light. Even if you put a filter on, the sensor is inside the filter ring. Now here's a question, is this have a discrete mode? If you shoot a picture of somebody, you could walk away, and then when you're out of earshot, you could let go, and then the motor will continue. So that's something that I know the Leica M8 has on it. It has a thing called a discrete mode. You go into a menu and you set it up so that you can be stealth. You shoot and it doesn't wind until you let go of the button. This one does it anyway. So you take a picture of somebody in street mode and then you walk away, and once they're out of earshot, you can let it wind. So this camera can be quite good for street. And it's certainly not going to get any attention. It looks like not much of anything. But again, with that sharp 38 2.8 lens, it's a pretty fast lens. You can shoot a band inside at night with 400 speed film, and nobody's going to think twice about anything, and you'll have better pictures than anybody shooting with their phone. So again, that's the Canon AF35M. Highly recommended for a cheapo camera if you just want something that's got a good lens, pretty good build quality from a plastic point of view, and holdability. And take it with you, take some pictures, send them to me. I want to see what you do with it, and I'll probably be using it in class at some point, teaching how to work with a really simple camera that doesn't have many controls and forcing it to have some control since you have that ISO speed dial. All right, if you have any questions, put them in the comments and I'll get to them. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll have more for you all the time.